Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Fanteba April. I'm a Ghanaian YouTuber based in Tema. If you're a new subscriber, you are welcome. I do hope you stay. And to my OGs, my returning subscribers, I love you all for your support. God bless you. Please, if you have clicked on this video and seen this pretty face, don't go. Kindly subscribe to my channel. Support me by subscribing and liking my video. This year will be 2 years on here and I don't even have 500 subscribers to boast of. Kindly help me by subscribing to my channel. I'm trusting God for 1,000 subscribers this year and I can't do it without you. Please help me by clicking on the red button on your screen to subscribe and hit the notification button, that's the bell, to get notified anytime I upload a video. Don't forget to like my video as well so that YouTube can recommend it to others. Thank you. I'm trying something new on my channel, which is the story time. I'll be telling stories while I do my makeup. I do hope you enjoy my stories. Let's get into today's story. He treated me like a nobody, called me all sorts of names. He always disgraced me in public. My name is Jijo. I got married to my husband Seto at a very young age. I was 19 years old when I married my husband. We were madly in love. My parents advised me to wait till I have had an admission to the university and completed with a good job. But I refused my parents' advice and went ahead to marry Seto. He was a very handsome and young, intelligent man with lots of money. When I first met him, I thought I had met my peace, but rather I married my enemy. Seto was a cool guy. He promised me the world. I trusted Seto with all my heart. He promised to take me back to school to continue my education after getting married. Because of his promise, I went ahead to marry him at age 19. Seto was 12 years older than me, so I thought the older he was, the wiser he would be. After having our second child, Seto's behavior started changing. He left the house very early and came back late, or sometimes never at all. Sometimes he stayed out for weeks with no explanations. Whenever I tried to question him, he rains all sorts of insults on me. One day, I decided to ask him about my education and when I would be going back to school, as he promised. I didn't finish what I was saying. Seto immediately threw the glass of wine in his hand into my face and told me never to ask him such nonsense question again. I was in shock because he was the same person who promised to take me back to school. I wept that day uncontrollably. Few days after, I prepared his dinner hoping he would come home early to eat because he texted me himself to tell me to prepare food for him and gave me a specific time to start because he didn't want it cold. As a good wife, I did as such, took my bath, helped the children with their homework, and put them to sleep. I stayed up to wait for him so I can serve him. I felt sleepy, so I laid in the couch in the living room waiting for my dear husband to come. I woke up, checked the time and realized it was past 12 a.m. I called him several times on his phone, but he didn't pick my calls. I was starting to get worried, even though it was his lifestyle to stay out late. I was praying to God nothing had happened to him. I decided to wait an hour more for him and I dozed off again. I woke up again and checked the time and it was 4 a.m. in the morning. I called his colleague at work and he told me Seto slept in a hotel. His colleague further told me that Seto said I had traveled to see my parents with the children and so he didn't want to be in the house alone. That is why he stayed in the hotel. He asked if there was a problem, but I told him I had been trying to call him, but he wasn't answering. His colleague promised to let him know as soon as he gets to the office. That evening, when Seto came home, he gave me the beatings of my life. He called me a useless being with no education and called me all sorts of names. According to him, I had called his colleague to report him, which I didn't do, and warned me never to call his office or any of his friends again, and left the house. He came back 4 days after abusing me for no reason. He even told me I wasn't his class and that he was managing me and so I should be grateful for that. He didn't care about his children's well-being at all, whether they had eaten or their school fees was paid or anything. He just didn't care. I had to change my children's school from private to government because I couldn't afford to pay for their fees. I went out to look for a job and God being so good, I got a job as a cleaner to be able to care for my children. I promised my children I would do anything for them to have their best education. At this point, Seto had packed out of the house to live with his girlfriend. My boss boss was very kind to me. She allowed my children stay with the security officers after school and sometimes even give them money. She advised me to take short courses in business administration and promised to help me. I applied for a 6-month course and my boss was so helpful. She took my children in during the weekend so I could go to school. I got a certificate after the 6 months and she promoted me from a cleaner to a front desk personnel. My salary was increased, but I couldn't afford a private school for my children. I wanted to sell the house so that my children could have a better education. My boss, Mrs. Addison, advised me not to do it. I further my education and got an HND in business administration. All this while, Seto never called to check up on either his children or me. One day at work, I got a letter and it was a divorce paper from Seto. I spoke to my boss and she encouraged me to concentrate on the children and not worry about Seto. I gladly gave him the divorce and life went on. There was an opportunity opened at the office as the PA to the MD. I went in for the opportunity and I got it. Things were getting better for me and my children, and I could afford to pay for a private school, which wasn't that expensive. I furthered my education, got my degree, and backed an MBA in business administration. The company gave me a chance to head a new branch they had opened, which was still in the same region. It came with a car and better incentives. Life took a turn on us again, and my children and I were happy. Seto was nowhere to be found and I didn't care. My children were all that I got and cared about. At last, there was a light at the end of the tunnel. Hope you enjoyed my story time. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Like this video, share with your family and friends, and leave your girl a comment. Let's get interactive in the comment section below. Please help me get to 1K. I love you and there's nothing you can do about it, but God loves you more. Stay blessed.